If the FBI was warned about the bombing suspect, Tamerlan Tsarnaev, his ties to radical Islam, why wasn't he stopped before the attack? Some critics, like Republican Congressman Peter King, say our enforcement is being too politically correct overall and shouldn't be afraid to monitor Muslim communities get into the mosques, the source of many modern-day threats. Captain Pete Hegseth is CEO of Concerned Veterans for America, and he has seen some of those same IEDs on the roadways of Iraq and Afghanistan, and now they've come to Boston. What do you believe, Pete? Do you believe that political correctness is hurting us?
Well, yeah. I mean, political correctness is a poison to our security and defenses. It imposes a willful blindness, both at the macro level when you're unwilling to engage with radical Islamism or whatever you want to call it, if you're not willing to call it what it is, and at the micro level, at that street level, when you've got a question, someone looks suspicious, you're not sure if you should act or not, and then you add another layer of, well, they look like they could be Muslim or something. I don't want to offend them, and that's it. And I don't know that we're equipping our youth to sort of draw distinctions, not necessarily based on faith or race or anything like that, but based on threat signs, and making sure they're always aware, and then willing to act if necessary. And in Boston, I don't know that it would have prevented that bombing per se, but political correctness, we've gone so far in that direction that it really stops on many levels our ability to react.
Yeah, I remember one time we had this, he's from a Pakistani professor on, and he was saying that he never gets upset when he is profiled because he wants to get on a plane and get on that plane when it lands as well. He wants to make sure that there's no terrorist on board, and he knows that Islamic extremists are mostly coming from the Middle East. Why can't we go through that model in order to narrow down who the perpetrators might be?
Well, we should be able to. I think the FBI and others, hopefully there'll be a lesson learned from this. You had a great guest on earlier who talked about these mosques in Boston, which we've known about for a long time, that have been producing radical ideology, clearly radicalizing individuals who've now gone on and do very violent things. That's the type of thing we should have immediate understanding of who's there, what they're doing, what they're talking about, because those have been the epicenters of this type of activity. And if we don't, shame on us if we don't now, again, learn our lesson. Again, this isn't about discrimination. This isn't about targeting anybody unfairly. This is about, A plus B equals C in so many scenarios that you're just not doing good law enforcement if you're not narrowing down the scope of who you're looking at in these particular scenarios.
And good law enforcement here lets us know whether these two acted alone or they were part of a wider cell, and who trained them to perpetrate those attacks. Captain Pete Hegseth, thanks so much.
Absolutely.
All right, now come